Ladies who married their just a friend. What was the moment that changed everything? I'd been friends with Jake since sophomore year of high school. We were tight, like really tight. He'd come over to help me fix my car when it was making weird noises. I'd help him write his college essays because writing wasn't his thing. When I bought this tiny house after my divorce last year, Jake basically became my unpaid contractor every weekend. He had his own key because I trusted him more than my own family. In October, a pipe burst in my basement while I was at this work retreat thing 2 hours away. Jake had stopped by my place Tuesday because he said something smelled off when he walked past my kitchen window. When he opened the basement door that day, it was like a disaster movie. Water everywhere. The walls were soaking wet, and this nasty black mold was already starting to form on my childhood photo boxes. Instead of calling me right away, Jake spent his entire weekend down there. He hauled out all my soggy stuff, moved furniture, called his buddy who does water damage cleanup. When his friend couldn't come until Monday, Jake rented this industrial fan thing and stayed up all night making sure the mold didn't spread to the rest of the house, all without telling me anything. I came home early Sunday because I had this splitting headache and just wanted to sleep in my own bed. I walked into my house and heard this loud humming noise. I followed it downstairs and found Jake in my basement, covered in grime, his hands all cut up from moving sharp metal stuff. He was scrubbing mold off the walls with bleach, wearing my pink cleaning gloves because they were all I had. When he saw me, he just looked tired, really tired. I asked him why he didn't call me, why he didn't tell me my house was basically falling apart. He wiped his forehead with the back of his hand and shrugged. Because I knew you'd stress out and drive back here when you were supposed to be relaxing, and I didn't want that for you. I sat down on my basement steps and started crying. Not because of the flood or the mold or the fact that I'd probably have to spend my savings fixing everything. I was crying because nobody had ever protected me like that. Not my ex-husband who would have called me immediately and made me deal with it myself. Not my parents who would have told me it was my fault for buying an old house. Not anyone. I looked at Jake, still holding that stupid scrub brush, and it hit me. He'd always been there. When my ex left, Jake showed up with pizza and beer and didn't ask questions. When I got food poisoning last spring, he brought me soup and stayed to make sure I didn't die. When I was scared to buy this house, he walked through it with me and pointed out everything good about it instead of everything wrong. I asked him why he cared so much. About me, about my house, about everything. Jake set down the brush and sat on the step next to me. He was quiet for like a full minute. Then he said, "I don't know how to say this without messing up what we have, but I think I've been in love with you for years." I didn't say anything right away. I just looked at him. This guy who'd been my best friend for 8 years, who knew I ate cereal for dinner when I was stressed, who remembered my mom's birthday better than I did, who'd just spent an entire weekend saving my house because he didn't want me to worry. I didn't say I love you too or anything dramatic like that. I just walked over and hugged him. He smelled like bleach and sweat and he was covered in basement dirt, but I didn't care. We stayed like that for a long time. 2 months later, we were dating. He moved in with me by Christmas. We got married last month in the backyard of the same house he'd once saved from falling apart. His wedding vows mentioned the basement flood and everyone laughed.